Here is a rock. It has no brain, no soul, and if you touch it, it's cold. Yet, if we flatten this rock, purify it, and etch microscopic lines into it, suddenly it can simulate physics or render 4K video. We didn't discover computing, we forced it into existence. We literally tricked a rock into doing math. But how do you get from a lifeless stone to a decision? At the highest level, we're told computers run on ones and zeros. But 1 and 0 are just symbols we write on a chalkboard. The computer doesn't know what a number is. It only understands state. Is there energy here? Yes or no? High voltage or low voltage? To turn that raw energy into math, we need a switch to control it. Enter the transistor, specifically the MOSFET. Don't think of it as a switch, think of it as a bridge. You have electrons waiting at the source, one side of the canyon trying to get to the drain on the other side. Normally, the path is blocked by the silicon itself. The electrons are stuck. However, above this gap sits the gate. When we apply a tiny voltage to that gate, it creates an electrical field that literally pulls electrons into position, forming a conductive bridge. The traffic flows, giving us a 1. If we remove the voltage, the bridge collapses and we return to 0. But a single switch is useless. The magic happens when you arrange them. If I put 2 transistors in a single file line, I've built an AND gate. Think about it. If I only turn on the first one, current stops at the second. I have to turn on the first and the second for the signal to pass. We are now enforcing logic. Now, rearrange those transistors side by side. The current has 2 roads to take. If I open the left path, current flows. If I open the right path, current flows. We just built an OR gate. This is the engineering breakthrough. We aren't just moving electricity anymore. We are physically building decision trees. Let's step away from electricity to really visualize this. Imagine a line of dominoes. Usually they all fall. But if I place a heavy block in the middle, the signal dies. That block is a transistor in the off state. If I attach a string to that block and pull it, I lift the obstacle and the dominoes fall. That is physical logic. We treat code as abstract, but it is physically baked into the hardware. When you write an if statement in Python to check a password, you aren't asking the computer to think. You are routing electricity. If the password is wrong, the voltage is low, the gate never opens, and the electrons hit a dead end in the silicon. And this is how a rock does math. By combining different gates, like an XOR and an AND gate, we can physically push electrons around to calculate that 1 + 1 = 2. Scale that simple concept up by 50 billion transistors, and you have the supercomputer sitting in your pocket. So we've turned silicon into switches and switches into logic. We can say yes and no, but doing one math problem is easy. Doing billions of them a second without exploding into chaos? That requires a conductor. In the next episode, we'll look at the CPU pipeline and find out why your computer needs a clock.